Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham AFC from the point of view of long-term fans and new fans.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome back to episode 140 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
You sound horrendous, by the way.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel better. I've been, I just want to explain. If you hear heavy breathing, especially if you're listening to this and not watching us, if you hear heavy breathing, I'm getting over a very bad chesty cough. So I had a nice week off with Alfie and then I went back to work. Sunday night I started feeling a bit, I had a sore throat, and then I went back to work on the Monday and started to feel a bit worse for wear. But I managed to get through Monday and Tuesday, a bit of Wednesday, I worked from home on Thursday and then I had to book a day off holiday because I just couldn't concentrate because I felt rough and I feel really hot at this moment in time.
It is warm though. It is warm. Does it smell of smoke in here? I came in and I thought I could smell smoke.
Might be outside.
It might be outside, but we're inside. Maybe it's, I don't know. Is this some sort of illness where you can just randomly smell smoke? No. I don't know. I came in and I thought, it smells of smoke in here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you know what? I'm not well, so Ryan has to have something that's wrong with him as well.
No, not at all.
I was talking to Laurie at the football on Saturday,
and
I said, I guarantee, because he said, I heard that you weren't well. He's one of the stewards, by the way. And I said, I guarantee Ryan will have something wrong with him.
Well, yeah.
By the end of next week.
Breathe in, don't you? In the air and stuff. And I'm bad for picking stuff up.
Anyway.
I've got, before you start,
I've
gone hatless today.
Why?
Main reason, I can't remember the last time I didn't wear a hat on the podcast.
Everyone liked your hat on last week's episode.
A few people weren't too sure, but
why? Because it had New York Yankees on it.
Yeah. But anyway,
it's a fashion staple, New York Yankees hat. I had one.
It is. Yeah,
growing up,
standard, especially in the UK. Everyone wears them, but
don't know who they are.
People don't usually see the Sunday hair, do they? Sunday hair doesn't usually make it onto the podcast, but I got up this morning and, a little bit tired and all that, and I walked past the mirror and I looked and I went, oh, it looks all right, that. So, it's basically not having to do anything with it. Normally, it's everywhere. That's why the hat goes on Sunday. So, but today I've thought, no, it looks all right. I'm sure I'll get loads of comments now going,
no, it looks crap.
Not so much.
No.
Not so much.
Anyway, on this week's show, we played third against fifth on Tuesday against Huddersfield, and that was away. We travelled to Huddersfield. We didn't travel to Huddersfield.
No.
Thank God, because...
you were rough.
We talk about our game against Rotherham on Saturday, and also we look ahead at the most important weeks. Sorry. This is one of the most important weeks in the season.
I think so. I think it's big this week.
We've got Reading on Tuesday and then we've got Wycombe on Saturday. So we'll obviously be talking a bit about those.
Yeah, we will come on to it, but we're obviously level on points with Wycombe at the moment. We play Tuesday, they don't. Yeah. So we could go 3 points clear in second. We could then beat them next Saturday and go 6 points clear of them. It could, but this is... almost feels like season-defining week. This really does. And I think the importance of the week, I felt it going into Saturday especially. And I thought we just need to forget about Reading, forget about Wycombe. We need to start the week off well and win on Saturday. Do that, get that out of the way.
Forget about Birmingham?
No. Just no.
We can't forget about Reading because we're playing them on Tuesday.
No, on Saturday. I mean, forget about Reading, forget about Wycombe. Concentrate on what's here. It is an important week, but do the first step of that week. Concentrate on Rotherham, get that done. Move on to Reading. For me, it is season defining this week, and I think if we can, I did say to quite a few people, come out of this week with 9 points. And I feel like we're going up. But we'll come on to that and we'll talk about it. Anyway, let's start.
Also, we've got the quiz and,
Yeah,
My
we do.
favourite part of the show.
Yeah, let's start with a little bit of news. So we did talk about it last week.
We did.
About the planning committee at the Wrexham County Borough Council.
And we were correct.
Yes, and we said hopefully next week we're going to be sitting here saying that all the plans have been approved because it was recommended for approval. And lo and behold, it has been approved. We can plough on. I think this means that we can plough on. We can get it done. A few people commented last week because I made a statement that after we've played the last game of the season is obviously away. And I said that because that's away, we can surely, as soon as the last game at home the week before is played, we can just plough on, start ripping down the temp cop. I had a few people saying, yeah, but what about the playoffs? Stop being so defeatist. I am banking on automatic promotion. Obviously, if we do end up in the playoffs, we need the temp stand. I get that. But let's be positive and focused on second place, and let's just say we're going up.
I had somebody come up to me in work, who's Steve. You've met Steve.
I have.
And he said the same thing to me, and I said, "Do you know what?" I said, "You're not the only one who's commented on that."
Yeah.
I said we will discuss it in the podcast this week, and there you go. We've discussed it.
Yes,
so
I'm not thinking about being in the playoffs. I feel that is very much settling. I am very much focused on that second place.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
And also last week, Ollie Rathbone got a nomination for PFA League One Player of the Month for February. I voted, and I shared the post on our social media. I think it was X. And a lot of people replying back saying that they'd voted for him, and I really do hope he wins. I don't know if they've been announced though.
I'm not sure. It's strange because I tried to look this morning, the page wasn't available, so I haven't seen anything that's come out as yet. By the time the podcast comes out, may well have been announced.
So
I'm
congratulations,
not sure.
Ollie, for getting Player of the Month, and commiserations, you deserve to win if you don't get it.
He's been fantastic. I don't think it was a huge shock. I think he possibly won every man of the match available to him in February.
Yeah, he did.
I think he scored 2 and assisted 1 in the month. And that, within a month for a player, I think who only scored once last season.
He's not a striker.
Yeah, and so to have scored 2 and set 1 up.
Kudos to you, man.
I think it's well deserved, but I'm sure the fans of the clubs of the other players who have been nominated think exactly the same thing. But
it's not true though. Ollie's the best.
It's not true. A quick kick-off change for April, just to make you aware of. So our game with Burton Albion on the 5th of April has now been moved to 12:30 GMT. Are we in GMT at the moment? Yeah, we are.
Yeah, the clocks
are we be
this month the clocks go forward, don't they?
Oh, is it? Right,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
I lose track
and then it'll
with all
be
that sort of
BST,
stuff.
British Summer Time.
Yeah, it will, yeah. So, that's been moved to 12:30 British time.
I just put UK time because then,
Yeah, I'm guessing that one's been moved earlier. Because of the amount of ex-Wrexham players now play for Burton, they've gone, maybe this will be a little bit of a spectacle. I'm not sure. But
they might not even get in the first 11.
They might not. No, they might not.
I kind of hope they do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who have we got? Anthony Ford, James Jones and...
Daddy.
Yeah, he's not really a Wrexham.
I don't want to see James Jones popping up with a 90th minute winner, though. Do you?
No, don't play James Jones because that would just be a nightmare.
Don't play any of them. Just leave them out.
Anyway.
No.
So last week also I did do a post about this. I think it was on the 5th of March. I think it was. It was Joey Jones's 70th birthday, and as you may or may not know, Joey Jones is an absolute Wrexham legend, and he still comes to the games. We see him there quite a bit. Along with Mickey Thomas, he is one of the club's legends. So he celebrated his 70th birthday.
Yeah, I think I'm right in saying, because he went and played for Liverpool. I think he was the first Welshman to win the European Cup. With
told you, legend.
Yeah, that might not be true, but I'm sure it is. First Welshman to win the European Cup.
140 episodes in, and we haven't learned to fact check before we say something.
I know. But it's one of them things, isn't it? Things pop in your head, and then you go, I'm sure that's true, and it's quite a good fact. I'm going to say it and hope that it's right. I think that's what you've got to do.
So many happy returns, Joey.
Yes.
Not that you watch this podcast.
No, I'm sure you don't. But look, if you do want to support the show, you can buy us a coffee, and you can do that by visiting buymeacoffee.com/me the wife. Huge thank you this week to Mr. David Lacey, who I work with. Shan used to work with.
Dave Lacey. I know that he still listens to the podcast, so hi, Dave. So I used to work with Dave, and we affectionately called each other work wife and work husband.
Yes.
Obviously, we weren't.
No.
But yes, Dave Lacey is a very good guy.
He is. Look, he listens. He listens every week. Some weeks he doesn't listen, but then he always catches up because he always tells me, "Oh, listen to this, listen to this." So yeah, thank you very much, Dave. And as I say, if anybody else wants to support the show, buymeacoffee.com/me the wife.
He's also quite handy as well. Because on Thursday, when I needed to get hold of you, because obviously you're not allowed your phone in work, I messaged Dave and I said, could you get Ryan to give me a call when he can? So he's also very useful as well.
Very useful. Yes. Quick Fantasy EFL update. They are very quick at the moment because not a lot is happening. It's quite tight, second to third. When I checked, I think there's only a point in it at the moment. So Ben Parker's still first. I think we're going to have the winner on, aren't we, as a guest at the end of the season? If they want to. We
don't know who C. Williams is
yet. We don't know
yet.
who that is, and no offence to you, but I'm hoping you don't win, because that means if we don't know who you are, we can't get you on.
Yes.
So hopefully it's not you.
Unless you want to tell us.
Touch. Yeah, yes. Obviously. Ben Parker's first, C. Williams second, and Ian Dougal is still in third. As I say, it's very tight, second to third.
I still think it's my sister-in-law, or our sister-in-law, Caroline.
It is not.
How
Caroline.
do you know? She's a very intelligent lady. She could be second in Fantasy EFL.
I'm sure she could, but it is not her. Okay.
Or unless it's Dave. My brother Dave, pretending to be her. That's why he's not messaging in, because...
that is more possible.
Oh, or it's Zach, our nephew. Anyway, we don't know who you are, so if you could let us know.
Yeah, we're just guessing now.
We are. So, Huddersfield last Tuesday, it was an unchanged lineup from Bolton game. I kind of predicted this, so I used the Bolton game lineup for my Huddersfield lineup on Tuesday.
I keep forgetting to do mine.
You do keep forgetting.
I'm really bad.
It just shows I'm more into football than Ryan.
It's not. Do you know what? Over the last, say, 6-7 weeks, there's been so many changes, and then you do a lineup, and it's I've only got 7 right, and I've only got 8 right, and
mine was awful on Saturday against Rotherham.
I forgot to do it on Saturday. No, well, we were walking to the game, and you said, "Have you done your lineup?" And I was like, "This is on Fan Hub, by the way. It's a great app. You get points just for going to games, or just for checking in and watching games and all that sort of stuff, predicting the lineup, guessing scores in other League One games. It's a good app. We're not sponsored by them or anything, but it's decent. It's good fun. And we were walking up to the game. You asked me, and I said no. I said I'll go on and I'll do it now. I went on and missed the deadline, so I'm not that fussed most of the time, to be perfectly honest.
So Huddersfield have not scored in their previous 5 home games.
Not scored.
What did I say?
Had. It's not a
Not.
preview, this.
Had not scored in their previous 5 home games before Tuesday.
Yeah, it was 3 0-0s, draws, and 2 1-0 losses. So I think we very much were going into that game looking at that stat, going, well, they haven't scored in the last 5 home games. 5 games in a row at home, and they haven't scored. But
they've managed to stay 5th. That's pretty impressive, to be fair.
Yeah, it was so odd because their results over the last sort of 10 games are so poor, but they were still 5th, and it was sort of a bit baffling, really. And you sort of go there going, right, they can't score at home. They just, for whatever reason, they can't score at home. They're really struggling at the moment. And then I think 15 minutes in, they scored. And then it was like, oh, right, okay. And then they give it as offside.
I was just thinking then, couldn't remember that, and I was thinking, but the score was 1-0. What are you on about? Yes,
they scored, and I thought when it went in, I went, oh, typical, innit? I'm scored in 5 at home. Wycombe to Town.
Yep.
Bang, there you go. There's one in 15 minutes.
Yeah, it would have been just typical.
I've looked at it a couple of times. I tell you what, that's tight. That is tight because it flicks off somebody. And obviously, League One, there's no VAR. You can't go back. There's no cameras on the line to look directly across. I would love to know how he was offside because it was really tight. I don't know if it was his foot or whether he was leaning. I'm not sure. Look,
we'll take it.
Take it, but that could have been... We could have been 1-0 down within 15 minutes, and I genuinely thought I'd just our luck that would to be sort of 1-0 down so early. They probably then should have gone 1-0 up. Dion Charles. So Dion Charles was at Bolton. Last season he was smashing them in left, right, and centre. Bolton ended up in the playoffs. He scored a few times in the playoffs, I believe. He might have been the league's top scorer, maybe. He was up there anyway, as one of the top scorers in League One. This season, he was at Bolton. Just wasn't happening for him, performance-wise or goals-wise. There was obviously a few issues at Bolton. They had Ian Evatt as their manager. There was issues there, and they weren't picking up results, and something wasn't right at the club. And so you sort of explained away Dion Charles not firing on all cylinders on the fact that there was a bit of disharmony within that team. So it wasn't really a surprise when he moved in January to Huddersfield. I was sort of expecting that to happen. I think we were sort of linked with him a little bit, but we were linked with everyone. So he ended up at Huddersfield. I think they spent a big chunk of change on him. And as it turns out, it was nothing to do with Bolton because he can't score at Huddersfield either at the moment. But it was a great chance. I mean, he was put clean through. He was one-on-one with Arthur. And, that feeling where something's going to happen. And then he hit it so far over. I mean, it wasn't even close to being on target. So he's really struggling at the moment, but not our problem. So, there we go. So 0-0 at half time. I think we were limited to very little, really. I think, watching the game, and you were sort of, you going, have we had any chances? But and I sort of watched the highlights back, and I was like, oh no, not really. I think second half, Rodriguez hit quite a sort of blistering 30-yard strike, but it just sort of it was just a nice height for the keeper.
Yeah.
And it looked like maybe a little bit more than it was. Maybe really.
Shameful. Not shameful. Shame. Yeah, shame.
Shameful.
Shameful, Rodriguez.
Not hit it in the top corner from 30 yards.
I really, I've got, I'm backing Rodriguez, and I really want him to score.
Yeah.
And I was gutted for him, to be honest.
Look, it's a big investment. He's obviously going to be on big money. And I think everyone just wants him to get one, just to get going. He was really unlucky. First game, we were away at Northampton, I think it was, and he had a chance, sort of half chance, ball dinked over the top. Keeper sort of rushed him, and they came at it together, and it, sort of straight at the keeper. Not too much he could have done differently with that. He's had a couple of chances. He had the Mansfield chance. Open goal, man standing on the line, and he managed to hit the man instead of the back of the net. I think we all just want him to get one. He's never been prolific, though. He's never been a particularly prolific striker, scoring sort of like, every other game or 1 in 3. And, he's not never been that sort of player. But he's just a bit of a nuisance. And in the nicest possible way, he's that player who's a bit of a nuisance. And he does get goals, and hopefully it won't be long.
There's obviously something about him that Parky sees, because he is he's putting him in the starting 11 over Palmer and Mullen at the minute. So
he is, but I do feel for him a little bit, and I was been talking to a few people. Quite a few people have sort of come to me and sort of said, I'm not convinced by him. I just don't think. I don't think it's working.
I wasn't, but I'm just now. I'm like at that point where I think, do you know what? I really just want him to score. I really want him to get his first goal, and I want it to be a screamer. And then everyone will start getting back, backing him up. And
yeah, maybe. But like I said, I've had so many people come to me going, I don't think it's working. I think the problem a little bit, it sort of feels like he's been asked to do two jobs.
Yeah.
So he drops deep a little bit. And which I'm guessing is sort of his natural game, but Parky's obviously gone, you just drop a little bit deep, get the ball, and you're going to be looking to feed Sam in behind sort of thing. And he's doing that, he is. But then we're sort of hitting balls up to Sam and flicking it on. And then people seem to be a little bit annoyed that Jay isn't running onto the flick-ons as well. And I sort of feel like he's sort of trying to do two things at once. He's trying to drop deep and get on the end of flick-ons. I mean, it's very counterintuitive, them two things. You can't be deep and further ahead than the man. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it is a little bit unfair. And I always feel a little bit sorry for a player that comes in January. You have to hit the ground running, and everyone's expecting you to be perfect straight away. And that is difficult at a new team. You might have moved house, you might be in a new area, you might be settling your kids into a new school. Your wife might be trying to whatever. I don't know, but there's a lot to deal with outside of football. So for a single player, it can be tough, and you have to be very focused. But for a strike partnership to be brought in from two separate places and forged together in January and expect them to be firing all cylinders straight
scoring
away
every game, and
that is even tougher than if we'd have just bought Sam. I think it's tough, as I said, for that one player to come in and do that and start to. But for two to come in and be expected to have some motorbike race going on outside our house, by the sounds of it, to forge that relationship straight away is tough.
Yeah.
And I do see little glimpses of them starting to understand how the other one is playing and the runs the other one is making. I see glimpses of it. Not enough that I am convinced by either of them, if I'm completely honest, at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think there's been enough, and I can see development, And Sam's got a couple of goals, and so let's very much a work in progress.
This is the thing, though. If you start a new job, I am prime example.
Yes.
The job I'm doing is difficult. It's it's a really hard job. There's a lot involved in it. And when I was in my last job, let's just face, my last job was easy.
Yeah.
But this one is more in depth, more complex. And I started and I'm still learning things now. So it's just, that's what we have to remember. When you start a new job, which is what Rodriguez and Smith have done, getting to settling in and getting to know the team and, all that kind of stuff. It does take time. It's not like, I know they're footballers and I know people think, they get paid, they should be firing all cylinders as soon as they walk in on that pitch.
But having said that, I am cutting them a little bit of slack here, especially Jay, really, more than Sam. But at the same time, they have to get there quite quickly as well. So they cut them a little bit of slack, but hurry up a little bit, lads, and get it going.
Right, then.
Do you get me? It's sort of very. I've used the word once already. Very counterintuitive. I am being quite laid back and giving Jay a little bit of time. But if you could speed it up and get there a little bit quicker, and the understanding that would be great. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought where were we? Huddersfield. Yeah.
Huddersfield. Huddersfield.
I thought it was sort of petering out to quite a sort of boring 0-0 at one point. I spoke to somebody in the week who was at the game, and they said, they were like, I don't know what it looked like on TV, but it was poor. It looked quite poor. And I don't remember particularly looking at the performance going, poor this. But he was convinced it was quite poor.
Who was that?
That was Mike.
Oh, in work.
Yes, yeah, he went to that, and then we fired up and wheeled out the aging goal machine. We wheeled him onto the pitch, and we spun the wheel on him. We wound him up and we just pushed him in the direction. And
I think he was on for 3 minutes and he scored.
I think he was on for 1.
Was it?
If I'm completely honest,
it was definitely under 5.
Yes, so Stephen Fletcher again, quite in the build-up, I would call it quite a robust challenge by Matty James. Sort of almost cut the lad in half on the halfway line. I think the Huddersfield fans were fuming, if I'm honest about it.
Probably rightly so if he was trying to cut him in half.
It was a strange one because the ref was very... He was just giving everything on Tuesday. You know, slightest contact, all that sort of stuff. So for him to let a challenge like that go was strange, I thought, because I thought, oh, that's a foul. But he let play go on. Ball fell to Lolly in the middle. I don't think we need to keep calling him Lolly.
Not at the moment, we don't.
Because we don't have Bolly anymore. So if we just...
Well, he's still obviously at the club.
He's still there, but he's not there.
I've heard rumours about Ollie Palmer, but I can't discuss them on the podcast because they're not very nice.
I'm going to be honest, right? The years that he's been here, I think we could fill a podcast with the rumours that have gone round about Ollie Palmer, but that is very much a very different show, and we are not going to do that.
We're not going down that road.
We're not, but there's lots of rumours. Leave it there. Move on. Anyway, Ollie picked the ball up in the middle. Great ball to Sam. And he was just right there. It was perfect. It was right on his head. And I was like, ooh, one of them where you're trying to head it for him. You go, just put it in, mate. And he headed it straight at the keeper. I was disappointed. He should have scored that. It was perfect for him. Perfect ball. And then there was a little bit of a scramble in the goal mouth. And then Fletcher just put it in. Basically, he was there. It just fell to him and he just tapped it in on the line. We did have a message, which I'll read out now. It was Kowata, who said, I thought Stephen Fletcher's goal was offside when I was watching the match live. And after watching multiple replays from different angles and Wrexham fan cams, I can say it is 99.9% offside. This is where I need Ryan, my go-to guru, to explain if Fletcher was offside, even if there was a defender on the goal line, because the defender and Fletcher were both behind the keeper. Pretty much you've answered your own question, I think, but I will address it. So, when the ball is played forward, if you are in the opponent's half when the ball is played, there have to be 2 players between you and the goal line.
Not the keeper, just the goal line.
The goal line.
Oh,
no. Right, so 2 players between you and the goal line.
Oh, and one of them usually is the keeper.
99.9% of the time, one of them 2 players is the goalkeeper, which is why people forget that there need to be 2 players, because people always think it's just one, but they forget about the goalkeeper. That is why it is 2 players need to be just between you. And by between you, obviously, most people have seen you draw the lines, not physically between, but you know, you have to, you know how it works. We don't have the benefit of any sort of like goal line cameras or anything like that in League One. I've watched the replay numerous times. I would say you are completely correct. There is a man standing on the line, a defender standing on the line. Stephen Fletcher's also standing on the line. So everyone assumes, he's onside because they're both standing on the line. Not the case. Remember, 2 players have to be between you and the goalkeeper.
That doesn't include yourself, obviously.
No, it does not. The goalkeeper looks like he is ahead of the line, which then means that Stephen's offside.
But the referee obviously couldn't
It wouldn't be the ref, it'd be the linesman, obviously. The linesman at that point would have been standing on the goal line.
But you know how crap the linesmen are.
Yeah, so, you're right. For me, 100% offside, but it's just one of them that you go, whew. You know, I think even in commentary, I think Andy Morrell said, I don't know how that hasn't been given as offside, but I'm not complaining. Same, I think, I'm not complaining, but I think you're very right. I think it was offside, but there we go. It wasn't pretty, but...
Our games never are.
Not at the moment, no. It's not pretty, but it's three points. Since we lost to Shrewsbury, we've now won 4 away league games in a row. If you want to chuck in the EFL trophy game against Port Vale, that's 5 in a row. But we won't. It's 4 in a row in the league.
Yep.
We now have the 8th best away record in the league.
It's good.
Well, yeah, considering I think we were
16th, I think. Something like that,
at some point. So we're up at 8th. And not only that, we've played less away games than pretty much everyone in the league, apart from the odd few, like I think Birmingham and there's another 1 or 2. So everyone's actually played more away games than us. So, when it all evens itself out, we're probably even higher, for your average points per game and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so I think it's really important that our away form has got better. Yeah. Because it was shocking. So to 4 in a row away from home in the league. Obviously, maybe our home form took a little bit of a battering during this period, but, away wins, it's always nice to see.
Hope that carries on Tuesday and Saturday.
Yes, that would be really nice. It'd be nice sitting here next week going 6 away wins in a row, and then we're going up. Bang. Sean, I have to say it. I've written it down in the notes because we always forget to say it. But Sean got her prediction right on Tuesday. Does that put us level?
No.
Are you ahead?
No, you are still by 1.
Am I?
I think so. Oh. I'm going to have to go back and have a look.
Yeah, I would double check that because I'm sure you're only 1 behind before. But I would double check that. But yeah, she went for 1-0. I can't remember what I went. I think I went 2-1. Actually,
something like that. It wasn't 1-0 anyway.
I think 1-0 is. I think 1-0's a banker at the moment, isn't it? A little bit, but look, you got your prediction right. Well done. Move on. Chris Wilm said, "Loving Revon's game. I think him and Barney are our best pair." We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. Sharky said, "We need to win the next 2 games." For sure.
For sure.
For sure.
For sure, we do.
Yes.
So, Tuesday roundup. I keep spinning on my chair. Wycombe beat Burton 2-0. Stockport drew 1-1 away at Northampton. Charlton moved up another place to 5th after beating Barnsley 1-0. Bolton continued their play off charge with a 3-1 win at home to Birmingham. That's unbelievable, that.
Yeah, they looked...
I'm glad we do not have to play Bolton again because they're...
Hold that thought. If we do end up in the playoffs,
yeah, we will.
It is, there is a possibility that we might have to play them. I think I'm more than likely thinking if we end up in the playoffs, I think you might end up in a 3rd and 4th scenario with us and Bolton, which means we wouldn't have to play each other in the semi-finals. But then if we both won our semi-finals, then we would face them in the final. I am 100% with you. Bolton is probably the last team in the world that I want to play if we end up in the playoffs.
Yep.
I would very much fancy us against everybody who is in and around the playoffs at the moment. Apart from Bolton. Yeah, I would say so. So
there was just one changed.
This is Rotherham, by the way. Sean's just ploughing ahead.
Sorry, yes, Rotherham. Sorry. There was one enforced change, obviously, at the Huddersfield game. Dobson went off injured.
Yeah.
We just thought, mate, because he did walk off. He didn't get stretchered or limping or anything like that, I don't think. So we thought maybe he was just, he had a twinge and he'd be back for the Rotherham game, but he wasn't. Dobson was out and Elliot Lee was in.
The weird thing, though, you say that, I didn't even notice Elliot Lee was playing for about the first sort of 15 minutes or so.
No, we all went, is he?
Yeah, I know, because
though we read the lineup.
Yeah, we read the lineup, and then it was sort of like we were about a quarter of, literally, I'm not just, it's not hyperbole or anything, it's just like, I
stop with these big words. My brain cannot
I'm not sure it is.
function with those
I'm not sure
today.
That's correct, but we'll just toss that away and pretend it is. And about quarter of an hour in, it was sort of like, I went, Elliot Lee's there, and you went, where? And I went, there, and you went, oh yeah.
And your dad's was the same.
Yeah, and it was, so I think there was a definite lack of impact from Elliot on Saturday. He looked a bit rusty. It was his first start since his car accident. He definitely looked rusty. He didn't look the same player that we'd seen before. Although, having said that, he had come in for a little bit of abuse when he was playing before, because maybe he wasn't quite reaching the heights.
Yeah.
And he had gone a little bit invisible in some games. But yeah, he looked rusty, didn't he? Okay, move on.
He did. I don't know what else you want me to say.
Yeah,
he did. Didn't know he was there. Realised he was there. And then, the game carried on.
Wished he wasn't. No, I'm joking. But look, sun was out.
Oh, it was a beautiful day.
It was a good atmosphere on Saturday as well. It felt, the racecourse felt alive on Saturday. We've had a few games where it's been a little bit flat, and it was just nice to have that little bit of atmosphere back.
Although somebody did comment about the, obviously this has been mentioned quite a few times about the fourth wall, the temp stand. People are saying that, the atmosphere in there is shocking and stuff like that. But I could hear them.
It's a strange one. When you've got a roofless stand...
Well, they were actually in the temp stand and said that it was...
Yeah, but this is my point. You might be in there, but with a roofless stand... this is one of the things with the new cop. It's been built with like an acoustic sort of element to it that pumps the noise that comes out of that stand into the ground.
Yeah.
When you've got a roofless stand, sometimes you can sort of make all the noise you want, and it just sort of disappears into the atmosphere a little bit. Yeah. And it's not very conducive for creating an atmosphere when you've got a roofless stand, I don't think, because like in all the other stands, any noise that's made, you've got your roof, and everything just projects into into and onto the pitch. I do feel a little bit sorry, because there's loads of people that we talk to who've been in the temp stand going, we make loads of noise, but I just think it's a little bit lost without that roof on it sometimes, and I think maybe that's but in general, good atmosphere Saturday.
It was.
But before really the game,
good. Sunglasses were on.
Yeah, but they were. Yeah, I know. First time this year, I think I've had my sunnies on.
It was definitely the warmest game we've had this season.
Yeah, I didn't even have a coat.
Although actually, I would not. Maybe not, because we had a game in August and that was quite warm.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant this year. Sorry.
Well, yeah, this year I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
In March,
it was. Yeah. It was really nice.
Lovely.
It was. I think it's fair to say there's no easy game at this stage of the season, but Rotherham we're sitting 14th. So if you're going to look at games and pick them out and go, okay, we should be winning that one, and not being entitled or nothing like that. But this was one of the games that you sort of go, we should be winning this. There are games out there that are going to be tough, and you sort of go, it's going to be 50-50. I'm not sure how this is going to go. I don't think Saturday was one of them. You just felt like it was a job that we had to do. And we had to go there, be professional, do the job, take the 3 points and go home, and then move on to the next one. And that's sort of how I felt. And it was very workmanlike, and it was very... maybe boring at times, maybe the dreaded gritty word comes out. But, we went there to do a job, and they did what we wanted them to do.
Yes.
They got the 3 points.
Yep.
Everyone went home happy.
Yep.
And then we can just move on to the next game. I think I'm intrigued now with our wing back scenario.
So that's James Jones.
Got him on the brain now, haven't you?
James McLean, Revon, Ryan Barnett and Ryan Longman.
Yes, I am quite intrigued. We obviously started the season with McLean and Barney.
Yes.
That's been the case for weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months. We brought Ryan Longman in January. So a few games ago now, we had Seb and Longman starting, same game. And it sort of felt like I understand this. I get why this is happening. We've got a lot of Saturday, Tuesday coming. So we're going to see a little bit of rotation. You know, we're going to see that. Give people a chance to properly recover. Cryo bath, ice bath, all that sort of stuff. Properly recover. So you're just playing maybe one game a week and not your 2 games a week.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yes.
And then Seb and Longman kept their place again.
Yeah.
Then they kept their place again. And now it sort of feels like I'm confused now. Because I expected a little bit of a chop and a change. Because...
Chopping and a changing.
I did. That's what I expected, though. Okay, all right. Seb's played on Saturday. Jimmy Mack.
Jimmy
Mack
when
will
are
play.
you coming back? That song actually played at the game on Saturday.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. And then I thought, okay, well, Jimmy will come in for the Tuesday.
Yeah.
Seb might come back in for the Saturday, and then we'll see. I'm not saying it has to be that black and white, but I expected a little bit more of a rotation. You know, as we've mentioned many times before, Barney is the league leader in assists. So for him to drop out and not get his place back, I was a little bit, ooh.
He didn't even come in the game on Saturday, did he?
He did not. No. And like I said, even when Jimmy come on, he didn't come on at left back. He came on in midfield. And Seb stayed on the pitch as well. Jimmy very much helped out on that left side. But yeah, Seb. So I'm not saying I'm confused, but I'm very intrigued as to what the long-term plan is here. Is the long-term plan... I think Seb's been great since he's come in.
He has.
I think he's got a lot of attacking sort of sense, and he attacks really well, and he looks dangerous when he goes forward. But on the flip side of that, he can actually defend as well. There's quite a few occasions where he's been stood up 1v1. And, and he's come out on top. And I've been quite impressed with his defending. So, obviously, we know Jimmy's age. Jimmy's not going to be around for ages. Is Parky starting to transition that change and maybe just use Jimmy,
as an impact player like Fletcher?
Maybe, we'll bring him on in the middle, bring him on the left, give Seb a little bit of a rest. I don't know. And I'm not saying anything really. I'm just intrigued about what's going to happen next.
We do have to, I said this to my mum at the game on Saturday. I said that Jimmy is probably one of the fittest guys we've got in our squad.
Yeah.
So for him to not be in it, there has to be a reason behind it, and he's our captain as well.
Yes.
Owen O'Connell's obviously been given that accolade.
I think Owen's who I called at the start of the season. I would like to see as captain. I thought it would be. I get why McLean's got it. Few people said Mullin. Quite a few said McLean.
We know why Mullin didn't have it.
But I do sort of feel like O'Connell was a good captain to have, and it has been him the last sort of few games. So we have moved it around a little bit this season, haven't we? But so I don't know. I'm not really saying anything. I'm just sort of like, comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. What do you think? Who do you think you would rather play? Would you rather Seb on the left? Would you rather Jimmy on the left? Ryan or
Longman.
Ryan Longman or Ryan Barnett on the right? Or would you like to see Longman on the left? Or just let us know what you think, because like I say, I'm going to use the word again, intrigued as to what the long-term plan is here. I do like Longman though.
I do. the game on Saturday, he wasn't as impactful, I don't think, as he was. He was good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He was good, but I don't think he was as impactful as he was at the Huddersfield game.
No. I think he's had a couple of quiet-ish games,
Yeah.
but when he does get the ball,
Oh, yeah.
he looks very comfortable on the ball.
Yeah.
He can, he's got a decent cross on him, but he's not smashing the assists in the way that Barney was. And, are we struggling for goals
because of that?
Recently? Because we haven't maybe got Barney putting the balls in. And I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. But like I said, intrigued. Yes. First half, I think Smith probably had the best chance. Counter-attack, hit it straight at the keeper. I thought, oh, God, we're not going to have one of them days, are we, when this sort of thing happens. Matty James had a decent strike as well from about sort of 25 yards out. Keeper, again, nice-ish height for him, I think, and it was well saved. It's the third league game in a row that it's been 0-0 at half-time.
I'll take it, though.
Yeah, maybe, but
I like early goals.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I take that back. I don't like Mullen's 6-second, whatever it was, goal. 16-second goal. I don't like them sort of goals because it's quite a long time to hold off.
Yeah.
But I do like quite close to full, to full time, to half time.
Yeah.
Going into, go back into the changing rooms, with that one goal under your belt. But if you're going to go with anything, you want to go in with you want to go in with a goal, but if you can't get that, then you want to go in with a 0-0.
Yeah,
exactly.
If you can't win, don't lose.
Concede.
Who said that? That's a famous quote. That if you can't win, don't lose.
No idea.
No, I don't know who said that. It's Michael Jordan. Anyway, look, I don't think it is. But yeah, it is. It's I suppose so. But you almost feel like I could turn up at half time. Really, I could just stay in the pub for another hour. Turn up at half time. We do look a lot better in the second half.
We did.
We do in general, I think. I think we sort of come into...
That's because Parky kicks them... He puts something up their bottoms.
I don't think he does.
Puts a boot up there. He does an Alex Ferguson with a boot.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I think it's... I don't know. We just seem to grow into the game and it sort of takes us a little bit, I think. Look, it was 1-0. Just after half time.
Yes.
We got...
The birthday boy.
Yeah, the birthday boy, Sam Smith. We got the first Rodriguez-Smith assist goal combo.
Yes.
Which is what we want to see.
Yes.
We want to see more of it.
It was good. It was impressive. Sam Smith went over to the tech end and obviously celebrated. And then he sort of was walking away. He was walking back into the pitch, away from the fans. And Rodriguez ran up to him and leapfrogged into his arms. And it was such a nice thing to see because
it was
the new boys.
Yeah. It was, but they did this. They did the thing, where one jumps and the other one jumps into someone else. But they both did that, and they just sort of jumped at each other and hugged in midair.
I just saw Rodriguez.
Yeah. Look,
that was funny.
It was a nice finish. I thought he delayed it too long, if I'm honest. But the more I've watched it, I think he delayed it a little bit extra for the keeper to go into that, that spread eagle sort of thing that keepers do.
Yeah.
He sort of delayed the finish, delayed it just long enough for the keeper to sort of spread his legs, and he just put it between his legs.
Yeah, it was a good goal, to be fair.
A bit of a nail biter rest of the game, really, and it was just no real chances for either side, but it just felt quite nervous.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, it was, like I said before, this was the first step.
Yeah.
In a week of very important games.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to get it done. That's why it made it, a bit of a nail biter. Decent match, 7 points out of a potential 9 on offer. 12 points up for grabs in the rest of the month. Reading, Wycombe, Stockport, Exeter. Quick prediction. Out of them 4 games, out of 12 points, how many do you think we're going to get?
9.
So we're going to lose one?
Maybe.
Okay, all right. Bold. I'd go for 10. I think 3 wins and a draw is superb for the rest of the month. I'm going to go for 10. I'm not backing the boys to lose. How dare you? Matty James and his brother, just a quick one before we go. Matty James and his brother came over to have a little photo,
Didn't even know they were brothers.
Yeah, so Reece James, who played for Rotherham, is Matty James's brother, and they both came over, and they had family or something, or friends in the Mould Road where we were, and they had a little photo, didn't they, with both of them on the pitch. And
it was cute.
It was really nice. We went a bit rogue with our predictions on Saturday.
Oh my God.
She was just stuck with the 1-0.
I think we got a bit cocky.
Yeah,
well, I know I did. I don't know about you, but I did.
Went 3-0. No, I went 3-0. You went 3-1.
Oh, yes.
Well, nowhere near either of us.
Look,
1-0, it is what it is. At the end of the day, another 11 1-0 wins, and we're going up, aren't we?
I don't mind that.
Is back-to-back something that you genuinely think it could happen now?
Yeah.
We've talked about it all season, but for me, now it feels like this could actually happen now.
It is a scary prospect because obviously, you know, we watch championship games and stuff like that, and we think, oh my God, these teams are good, and you think it's we've said it before, like the transition from National League to League Two and League Two to League One and League One to Championships is probably. It's massive.
If we do go up, it will be the biggest jump we have made so far.
And it'll be...
I think the biggest jump is Championship to Premier League, if I'm honest, because every Championship team that goes up really struggles in the Premier League. I think that jump is the biggest. But it will definitely be the biggest we have seen so far.
Can you imagine winning the Premier League?
Whoa, we're still in League One.
Can you imagine, though,
Just
that day?
Calm down, woman.
It can happen.
It could. Look, one day, I'd love it to happen. Let's just get there first.
I'd love for Wrexham to play Man City because Alfie will be so torn.
Yeah.
We would be supporting Wrexham, obviously, but Arsenal's a Man City supporter. No idea why. Still don't know why. He's not even Mancunian.
Glory unto that's why, because they were really good when he started getting into football.
To be fair, though, he does still support them and they're not doing that great now. Anyway, Merculago, I too was watching through my fingers. I would like it if we at least gave ourselves a two-goal cushion. Yes, I agree. But if we have to win ugly, then that's what we have to do.
Yeah, look, if you want to get in touch with the show, you can comment on the video on YouTube. You can click contact the show on the podcast. I've got if you go onto Buzzsprout, there is one that I want to read out. But just one thing that I do want to say is if you do click contact the show at the bottom of the description, please, can you put your name on there? Because if you don't put your name, we don't actually know who you are. So there's one here I just wanted to read out. Where are we?
Oh, San Francisco, I've been there.
Yeah. Hi, Shan and Ryan. I saw a link in the Apple Podcast app that make it easy for me to message you right from an episode. I have been listening to your podcast from its first episode, even during the off-season. And as an American, it's really been a joy. Your passion for the team is infectious, and it's great to hear you're enjoying your team's journey together. I was brought into Wrexham by the documentary. I followed each season since, thanks to your weekly views and updates on the team. Here's hoping Wrexham can go back to back, as one of my two favourite podcasters said in the last documentary. That was me. Next time, Ryan, see if you can get you both in. Shan wasn't interested, so that's you weren't interested in carrying the camera around. You've got to do some of the legwork if you want to get the rewards.
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking. I'm in talks with.
Cheers, Eric in Almeida, California. P.S. Thanks for Saquon. Right, I'm not reading that. Thanks, Eric. Ruined it right at the end with your dirty little eagle symbol.
Oh.
No, look. So like Eric did there. Thank you for that, by the way, Eric. It's a very lovely message, and I love hearing from people that we haven't heard from before.
And I've been watching from the start.
That is brilliant. So thank you for that message. But as I say, that's what Eric did. He clicked contact the show at the bottom of the description.
Yeah.
But like I said, please put your name in the message, because if you don't, we don't know who it is.
We could read it out, but we don't know who you are unless you put your name. So you can do them two things. You can, or you can message us on Blue Sky, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, or email us at methewife@gmail.com. Quick Saturday roundup before we move on. Wycombe drew 1-1 right at the death with Peterborough. I mean, right at the death.
Penalty, wasn't it?
I think so. It was 90 odd minutes. It was horrible. They were losing. We were second. Right.
Oh no, Peterborough's goal was a penalty.
Yeah. Right at the end, we were second.
Just holding your hand.
We were second right until the final whistle in that game. It was really annoying. Stockport drew 0-0 with Charlton, so Stockport have drawn 2 in a row, so they've dropped a little bit further back. Bolton won 2-1 away at Burton, and Huddersfield lost again away at Bristol Rovers. So, us and Wycombe are on the same points now. Wycombe are second and we are third due to goal difference. So we could do with scoring a few more goals in these games. Stockport are now 6 points back in fourth and have played a game more. Charlton are 8 points back in fifth. Bolton are on the same points as Charlton. And Huddersfield are now 10 points behind us.
They were fourth, weren't they? Or fifth, I don't
crazy.
know. Okay, let's talk about Tuesday's game against Reading. It is our 36th league game of the season. It's on Tuesday, the 11th of March, and kick-off. Sorry, is it 7:45? Sorry, is it 7:45 our time?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You okay there?
Yeah, I'm fine. We are away at the Madejski Stadium.
Madejski.
Whatever.
Silent J. Well,
Madejski.
Madejski.
Okay. Their capacity is 24,161. We had an allocation of 2,093 tickets. It's 194 miles away, which is about 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Give or take,
ground to ground. They play in blue and white hoops. Their away shirt is burgundy, and their third shirt is green. It's like greens and blues.
Greeny blue, I think.
Greensy blue.
Yeah.
A bit like my eyes.
Yeah.
And their last league game was 3-0 against... Our last league game was with them on August the 24th.
No, our last league game wasn't with them. Our last league game against them
That's what I meant.
was a 3-0 win on the 24th of August. Yes, there we go.
Their top scorer is Harry Nibbs.
Harvey. Come on, reading woman.
Sorry.
I don't know what reading woman means.
Reading woman.
Just read woman.
Sorry. My eyes went a bit funny after coughing then.
Did they?
Yeah. Top scorer is Harvey Nibbs, not Harvey Nicks. That's funny.
If you have to look at someone and go, that's funny,
not funny.
Probably not.
So he scored 11 goals so far this season. They drew 1-1 at Crawley on Saturday. They are 8th in League One with 55 points. They have won 15, they've drawn 10, and they've lost 10. They're unbeaten in their last 8 league games. They've won 3 and drawn 5. So predictions for this game on. I'm going to get in there first.
You're going to go 1-0, aren't you?
I'm going to go 1-0.
I'm not.
No?
No. I'm going to go that we lose 1-0.
Shut your mouth.
No, I'm going to go 2-0.
Shut up.
Yeah, 2-0. I think if this ends up being 1-0, right, on Tuesday, we're going to have to come to some sort of agreement that neither of us can go for 1-0. Because we can't, it's just going to be a race to who can say 1-0 out loud first, isn't it?
That's very true.
That is true. But look, tough game. We beat them 3-0 in the first time round. They have very much grown as a team since then. Charlie Savage is playing well. We obviously know Charlie Savage. He has messaged us at the show before.
He slid in our DMs.
He slid into our DMs. Yes, he did. We can't really go too deep into that because it was because of something. But anyway. But yeah.
It wasn't anything really bad. It was his fault.
It was his fault.
It was his fault.
But he's a very nice guy, by the way. We messaged back into a little bit. And
my mum actually said, obviously, Charlie Savage is the son of Robbie Savage, who used to play for Wrexham.
Yeah.
And my mum says Ollie Rathbone reminds her of Robbie Savage and his work, like...
Yeah, maybe Mickey Thomas, I think, for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd say so. But,
anyway.
Yeah. Look, the big crunch game next. 37th league game of the season, Saturday the 15th of March. Whatever it is you're doing, cancel it. Make sure you're there for this one. 3 p.m. It's away at Adams Park. Capacity of 9,448. We've got an allocation of 1,848. It's 176 miles, 3 hours away. They play in light blue and dark blue quarters. Their away shirt is white and green, and their third shirt is red. Last game was a 3-2 win on the opening day of the season.
Yes.
I did honestly
10th of August,
felt like we comfortably beat them at home, and this isn't the scenario that I expected after seeing them on the first day of the season.
I don't think they probably didn't either.
No. Top scorers Richard Kone on 17 this season. They drew 1-1 away at Peterborough, as we mentioned on Saturday. Second in the league, same points as us, which is 68. They've won 19, drawn 11 and lost 5 this season. The last 5 games, they've won 2, drawn 2 and lost 1. So there is definite scope for us, doing something, I think. They've only lost 1 of their last 10, though, in the league. So it'd be nice to make it that 2-11, I think. There's actually, fun fact, there is actually no place called Wycombe. The place is High Wycombe, but they don't use the high bit. So there's no place just called Wycombe. And they're called Wycombe Wanderers. I did read the story, but it's really boring, so I'm not gonna mention it. But yeah, prediction.
Oh, I put my phone down. I'm gonna go 3-2, same as. Yeah, same as it was at home.
I'm gonna go 1-0 then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we can keep doing 1-0 all the time. I think it's getting quite boring for people.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mine's
there
not
we go.
boring though.
Yours is definitely not boring. I'd fancy a 3-2. Imagine 2-2, last minute. Mullin off the bench. Fletcher off the bench. Cleworth, not off the bench. He's already on.
Or Rodriguez.
Or
getting a screamer at Wycombe.
Or Arthur takes a goal kick and it goes all the way through and just goes in.
Hey, to be fair, he did a goal kick on Saturday and it bloody went far.
Bloody hell! I think it
went to the goal.
Yeah, it finally. I think when it bounced in their box.
Yeah.
But anyway, quick shout out for Dragon Chat before we do the quiz. It's a mental health peer support group. They run 2 weekly Zoom calls. One on a Monday at 8 p.m. That is for women. And the other one is on Thursday at 7 p.m. That's for men. If you do want to get in that, you can, all the details are in the description of this video if you're watching on YouTube. Or go to the Wrexham AFC website, go to the communities tab, scroll down to health, and then scroll down and you'll find Dragon Chat in there. Alternatively, you can follow them on social media. They are at Dragon Chat WXMFC on X or at dragonchat.bsky.social on Blue Sky. Are you ready for the quiz?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, you've got to sound
Just
a bit more
bear
excited.
in mind, I've not been well. My head's not functioning.
Sian uses the excuse, remember I'm not well, for everything. For everything when she's not well. So just to let you know. So it's Sam Smith's birthday on Saturday.
Yeah.
So we're going to play Sam Smith singer, Sam Smith striker, or Sam Smith other. Okay? So the answer to each question is either Sam Smith striker, Sam Smith singer, or Sam Smith other.
Bloody hell.
Okay?
Okay.
Question 1. Born in Manchester.
Sam Smith.
Hello? They're all Sam Smith, right?
Oh, our Sam Smith.
Sam Smith striker, Sam Smith singer,
Sorry.
Sam Smith other.
Sam Smith striker.
Correct, it is Sam Smith striker. He was born in Manchester, played for Manchester United youth. Number 2. Made 1 appearance for Norwich.
Sam Smith other.
Sam Smith.
Sam Smith.
Sam Smith.
Sam Smith other.
It is Sam Smith other. Yes, he was born in 1909. Also a footballer. Made 1 appearance for Norwich. Number 3. 2 out of 2. Is this the day?
No.
Okay. Dad's name is Frederick.
Sam Smith singer.
It is Sam Smith singer. You are on fire.
He's just dead posh, isn't he, that Sam Smith singer?
Sam Smith singer?
Singer,
Is that how you're going to call him from now on? Sam Smith singer. 3 out of 3.
Yep.
Question 4. Attended Thomas More Primary School.
Sam Smith, singer.
It is Sam Smith, singer. Well done. Here we go. Here we go. Number 5. For a return to form, plaudits from around the world, has 3 middle names.
Sam Smith, striker.
Sam Smith, striker.
Yeah.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Dinging it in?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Oh! Is it Sam Smith, singer?
It's not. It's a random Sam Smith that I found on Twitter. He had just had 3 middle names, so I'm going with that one.
Right.
Yeah, so no,
I know
unfortunately.
that one of Sam's middle name, our Sam, is Toby.
That's his only middle
Is
name.
it?
Yeah. Sam Smith Singer's middle name is Frederick, so after his dad. So they both only got 1 middle name. Sam Frederick Smith and Sam Toby Smith. So unlucky. I was rooting for you then. I genuinely was. I thought this is the one. Sian's going to get 5 out of 5. But let everyone down, haven't
I
I?
told you I'm not well.
Yeah, just blame me on not being well. Oh, not well. That's when I got 4.
I'm not well.
If I was fully fit, I'd have got that 5th one.
I would have got 10 out of 5
Yeah.
if I was fit.
Smashed it.
Yeah.
Look, thank you very much for joining us again this week. I've enjoyed it. Not so much sure Sian has as much.
I know I have. I feel rough, but I'm all right.
Are you a bit Sam Smith?
I'm a bit Sam Smith, yeah.
Yeah. It's not great being Sam Smith. Sam Smith.
If you're going to do a joke, do it properly.
Shut, come on. You don't have to.
I'm going to go now.
Sam Smith.
Sam Smith. I'm going to lie down and I think I'm just going to sleep for the whole afternoon.
Why not?
Because, yeah.
Why not? Nothing to do.
No.
Absolutely nothing to
I
do.
did want to go to the skip, but
What an exciting life.
we do lead such an exciting life, yeah.
Just have a little lie down every now and again. Just have a little Sam Sniff. And just
Sounds really wrong, that.
does it?
Yeah, it
maybe.
sounds a bit like...
I mean, because you got a cold.
I know. Well, I know what you mean.
I get what you mean. Have a little Sam Sniff.
Yeah, stop doing that. Look, Lawrence will be gathering you at our next home game.
Waving hands.
No, doing this with your nose.
Oh yeah, he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week. The podcast is out on Mondays, as you all know, but obviously you're watching this.
Oh, she's not well. She's not well. She's not well. So we've got to excuse the mentalness because she's not well.
Yes.
We
will see you next. What I meant to say was we will see you next Monday for next week's podcast. As we've got 2 away games, we are obviously not going to those, so we won't be.
Well, not obviously. We do go to away games, but we're not going to these ones, unfortunately.
No. So we won't be doing any preview full-time majiggeriggies.
Right, thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you again.
I'm not well.
We'll see you again next week.
Love you all.
Bye-bye.